Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the day street, last half an hour in trade. And we are again now about 93 points odd lower on the Nifty. 23,440 and thereabouts is where the Nifty has been hovering at, smaller range in trade. And of course, towards the second half of trading session for sure. 0.4% of a decline right there. But what's still up is Nifty Bank. It's holding up with gains of almost 0.4%. Almost 200 points higher in trade at 50,373. What's doing well in this very, very volatile market is the metals, although they've also come down from the day's high point, 1.9% higher in trade on the index level. You have FMCG, auto, PSU banks, realty index. These are the pockets that are actually doing well. But the private banks have also pulled up in trade a little bit. There's volatile trade in the broader markets. But what's not doing well is the IT sector. Remember, it was at one point in time down by 2.9 odd percent. Right now, over 2% of declines can still be found on the IT sector. Oil and gas, because of the regulatory changes, are again down by about 1.7% odd. You have the pharma, media, and the broader markets that still reel under pressure. Top movers on the Nifty include a whole host of names from Hindalco, which is the top mover, 4% higher. Hero Moto, Tata Steel, Nestle, Hindustan Unilever, M&M, Adani Ports. These are the top movers. While on the top laggards front, you have BPCL that's dragged by about 3 odd percent in trade. TCS that's down by over 3%. Trent, Dr. Reddy's, Infosys, Wipro are the big drags. So it's the IT stocks that are creating all that pressure in the markets right now. Let's welcome both guests on the shows now. We have Mr. Brijesh Singh, Senior Technical Analyst at Stock Axis. Warm welcome to you, Brijesh ji. And we also have Sunny Agarwal, DVP, Head of Fundamental Desk at SBI Securities, now joining right in. Good afternoon to both of you. I'll start off by taking the first comment. Sunny, from you first. Tell us, the major triggers that the markets were probably penciling in onto and relying on for a clear direction are now behind us. How are you really reading into the market sentiment right now? Do you think we are going to be lagging for far too long, or do you see some signs of recovery happening now? The markets are extremely volatile with lack of direction as of now.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi, and thanks for having me on the show. I think definitely with the lack of firework on earnings front, I think market is trying to find a fit. Anyway, on the fund flow side, we are seeing a lot of trade wherein a short emerging markets and long US. That is something which is driving the fund outflow across the emerging markets and going to developed markets like US. So basically, Trump trade is something which is leading to a selling pressure from foreign institutional investor. But having said that, what I believe is that even quarter 3 numbers, looking at a commentary from the management, is not likely to be very exciting going forward. So it's a kind of air pocket which we are seeing as far as earning growth momentum for Indian corporates are concerned. But again, if somebody is a medium to long-term investor, I think it's a good opportunity to gradually accumulate quality names in the portfolio. So we have seen many large cap names correcting by more than 10 to 15%, and it's a good opportunity if you have got an investment horizon of 6 to 12 months, wherein one can gradually accumulate all these stocks. Volatility is something which I believe will continue to remain for next maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe once this expiry is over in the month of November, in the month of December, I expect some stability in the market.
Okay, let's get Brijesh ji also into the conversation. Brijesh ji, after this over 10% correction on the benchmark index from the top, do you further see a sharp downward correction from here on as well? Or do you see that markets are probably now looking in an oversold territory, some kind of a bounce back or retracement should happen?
Good afternoon, Sakshi. As you have said, is absolutely right regarding with the very short is being considered that market is in an oversold zone. So I'll start it that way. If we look out the daily chart already had made the head and shoulder pattern, and when it has broken 24,700 mark on 27th of October, it has given a clear indication that it is heading towards the downside. Now downside, as I've been saying, there are two level to watch. One is 23,500 and one more level to watch would be 22,000 mark. that is still far behind. 23,500 have already been achieved. That also I have been discussing in different business channels, even in your business channel. I have been updating that we are heading towards the 23,500 mark. Now, weekly and monthly are still giving a bearish indication, but the hourly chart has been in a oversold zone. So we can see a pullback rally. That pullback rally can be towards the level of 23,800 followed by 24,000 of say 24,200 mark. Regarding with the downside is been considered 23,100, 23,200 is the immediate support, which I feel that should not be get broken. So this week, since Wednesday has been an off due to the election in Mumbai, so a short week has been there, but overall trend is for the pullback. But don't be an aggressive buyer. If you are in the buy side, use strict stop loss still, because the major trend is been a downside. 24,000 is a previous swing high, followed by the level which the neckline which has been broken in the head and shoulder pattern,
Right.
is 1,700 mark. So till that not been broken, trend has been weak.
Okay, got that. Let's come down to specifics and key pockets right there. Sunny, taking with you first, it's the metals that have been shining bright right from the morning trade. They haven't given up much of their gains as well. We started off with 1.5% gains, went up to almost 3% gains on the metals index. It's come down a bit, but it's still holding up onto smart gains. And, especially stocks like Nalco, for instance, Hindalco, Vedanta, all rallied up to 10%. Now, one of the key factors that most of the experts are penciling in is that because China's finance ministry has proposed to reduce or to cancel the export tax rebates for commodities including copper and aluminium effective December 1st. Now, what they are expecting is that probably this is going to be impacting shipments right there, and therefore you can see the scarcity element pushing up the price, pushing up the stocks and appeal as well. But the metal space has been an entirely volatile space throughout this year. There hasn't been a clear or a longer time direction that we have actually seen on the metals pack. How would you really look at this space since it's governed largely by the external factors?
Yes, you are right. I think definitely there are too many moving parts as far as the metal sector is concerned, whether it is the stimulus by China, then removal of export rebate, and at the same time, expected recovery in the developed markets like US and Europe. So I think, and at the same time, China dumping on ferrous side, especially steel side, which is putting pressure on domestic steel as well as stainless steel companies. So there are many moving parts within the metal sector. As you have rightly pointed out, aluminum is the sector to be in. There are basically two reasons. One is if I look at an aluminum prices, the global aluminum prices are at life high, close to life high, $2,600, $2,700 to the ton. And obviously the natural beneficiary will be Nalco, Hindalco, and Vedanta to some extent. And on the top of that, today's development on China front again is a shot in the arm for the entire aluminum as a sector. I think steel is something which will continue to face pricing pressure or margin pressure, led by continuous dumping by China at a cheaper rate. But as the most of the metal companies, steel companies have alluded that China can't further cut prices as they are producing at a no profit, no loss basis. So I am hopeful that over the next 1 or 2 quarters, even the steel companies should able to recover their EBITDA per ton or margins going forward. So within the metal pack, within the steel pack, I would like to go ahead with a diversified player like Sham Metallic, where we have seen a rapid capacity expansion. On the top of that, numbers are pretty much in line with expectation. Another way to play stainless steel is through manganese, which is a moil, is something which, after a steep correction from recent highs, I think moil is the one stock which one can add in the portfolio. And on the aluminum side, we have already discussed aluminum and Hindalco is the something which I would like to add in my portfolio.
Got it. Okay, so that's as far as the metal space is concerned. But let's get back to Brijesh now to understand some more moving parts in the markets. The pocket that I want to discuss with you, Brijesh ji, is the one that is taking a lot of beating today, and that's the IT sector. The kind of sharp fall that we've seen today, many of the heavyweight counters also contributing across the board, even in mid caps where there is kind of a decline as well. How are you really assessing? In fact, the Nifty IT index itself, I think from the high point, it's already lost about 2,600 points odd or so. What is really happening in the IT sector? Is there more downside? Will it be like a catching a falling knife in the IT sector? Because this was being seen as one of the safer zones amidst the correction when it had started off right about 6 weeks ago or so. But it's really not been able to carry on with the strength week on week. How would you really explain the move?
So as you have said regarding the IT sector, already the correction has been seen, and if we see the top which was made on 17th of September 2024, which was a high of 43,645 with lower tops and lower bottom formation, it was been trading. Regarding with the immediate support of the IT has been considered index wise, as I say 41,000 is the immediate support. If any of that thing goes off, then 40,200 would be coming in that way. Whereas on the higher side, 42,200 to 42,400 band is a resistance on the immediate basis. I feel that since it is near to that support zone of 41,000, any pullback can be seen. In that scenario, 2-3 counter still look promising wise, where one can look out to play along in it. One is Coforge. On a daily time frame, the higher tops and higher bottom formation is still been intact, nothing wrong. Right now the stock is trading near the 20-day simple moving average, 7,990 mark around it has been trading. So any dip below 7,700, or precisely I will say that 7,500 or to 7,600, if it trades, one can take a long position in it with a very strict stop loss of 7,100 and then play for the target of 8,200 to 8,500. We pro at 551 mark. It's been trading. Any dips toward 540, one can take a long position in it with a very strict stop loss of 520, 525, and then play for the target of 570 or 575.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the IT pack is also concerned right now. Let's also understand from you, Sunny, which are the pockets amidst and after this correction are you really looking at attractively? Where would you be comfortable now deploying fresh money? I'm sure there would be a slew of funds that would be available with you. How is the fund flow like? What are the kind of questions that you're getting from your clients in terms of the liquidity that they have right now? Should they be sitting on cash? Should they be deploying it in this current market? How would you address this?
Again, what we are recommending to our clients is a gradual deployment of excess capital which they have, and again, predominantly focusing on companies which are likely to deliver healthy numbers over December or March quarter. A case in point, hotel companies are something which we feel are likely to deliver a healthy set of number. Already we have seen a very robust quarter, September quarter, and December, which is usually a peak quarter for hotel, though whether it is Indian Hotel, EIS, Chalet Hotel, Sami Hotel. So this is the one pack which I would like to add in my portfolio. Within auto pack, Mahindra and Mahindra is a clear outlier, whether it is on SUV side or tractor side. Again, on tractor side, we have seen company going ahead and raising the industry growth guidance. So Mahindra and Mahindra is the one stock which I would like to add from auto pack. Reliance, again, being a large cap bellwether after correcting 20% from the peak, is something which I would like to add in my portfolio. Cement, where we have seen a two clear washout quarter for a cement, but I believe that second half is something where we may see a decent growth as far as cement sector is concerned. So large cap companies like Ambuja and Ultratech, I would like to add in my portfolio. Coming to capital market play, I think that's a structural long-term story. So within capital market, I would like to add Nippon India Asset Management AMC play in my portfolio. And on commodity side, MCX Multi Commodity Exchange, where there are multiple growth levers for the company. So MCX is something which I would like to add in my portfolio. From cables and wire, Polycab, I feel has delivered a very good set of numbers. And at the same time, the growth outlook continue to remain robust. So Polycab is the one name which I would like to add in my portfolio. From telecom space, Bharti looks good. Bharti or Bharti Hexacom, both the players have reported a decent set of numbers. From IT pack, Coforge is the one name which I would like to add in my long-term portfolio. Again, a clear company is likely to deliver 17 to 18% growth consistently over the next 5 to 6 years. From a fashion side, Arvind Fashion is the one name which we like. Very robust brand portfolio, and at the same time, the way company is strategizing, I feel the earnings can easily double over the period of next 3 years. From EMS back Sirma SGS, we have seen a kind of turnaround performance from Sirma SGS. So Sirma SGS, I would like to add from EMS, and to ride on the AC rally play, basically PG Electroplast, the one name which we are recommending. And from hospital space, Rainbow Children, again, regional play, but specialized play on children's care. So there we are seeing a very rapid expansion in terms of bed addition. And on power side, PFC and NTPC.
Okay, got that. Hold that thought there. A lot of those names that have come in: IHCL, Chalet Hotels, M&M, Arvind Fashions, Reliance Industries, Coforge, Bharti Airtel, Bharti Hexacom, MCX, Polycab. Some of the names that you could be really looking at right there in your long-term portfolios to be starting to invest at the current as well levels to take the benefit of the recent correction that has played out. Let's also throw the same question to you, Brijesh ji. Any investable opportunities that have come in fresh in front of you?
So there are only few stocks which I'll say that look promising for a short to medium term is been considered. I'll start with DCM CRM. The stock
Okay.
is been trading at 1321 mark with base formation at 1000, and after that we have seen stock breaking out, and in today's session we have seen stock making a new 52-week high. Present rate, one can take a long position in it with the stop loss of 1150 and then pay for the target of 1600 or 1650. Another counter where the buying is been considered is in ID pack is Nasdaq. Nasdaq look promising for a short to medium term has been considered 3135 around. It's been trading on the daily chart with a W pattern formation, again giving a positive sign. So keeping a stop loss of 3000 and below on that level of say at precisely 2900 mark, one can take a long position and for the play for the target of 3500 plus zone.
Okay, got that. All right, and let's now discuss also the upcoming IPO space with both our guests. The much anticipated IPO of NTPC Green Energy will be hitting the D Street tomorrow, the third largest in size of over 10,000 crore rupees after Hyundai and Swiggy have come in this year, is the third largest IPO that will be hitting the D Street tomorrow. The price band is attractive, 102 to 108 rupees per share as well. It's a complete fresh issue. Most part will be used to retire some debt right there. Let's understand from you, Sunny, first. What is your own thought process on NTPC Green? Do you think it is one of those opportunities that shouldn't be missed when it comes to the IPO space from investors' point of view?
Again, two views over here. I believe the listing gain is something which is likely to be muted, looking at the valuation at which the IPO is priced at. So already the current valuation of close to 90,000, 95,000 crore market cap is discounting growth for next 2 to 3 years. But having
Okay.
said that, again, in a longer run, the company is going to expand its capacity by 20 times over the period of next 5 to 7 years. FY24 3 gigawatt, and I think FY32 company is targeting 60 gigawatt of capacity. So I believe it's this IPO is for someone who is looking for a long-term stable addition in the portfolio. So I believe a kind of 15 to 16% CAGR return is something one can expect from a NTPC Green, looking at the current numbers. And only the surprise element can be any detailed expansion plan on BESS and hydrogen front, which we have not accounted in the current valuation. And at the same time, any inorganic opportunity which company may have, that is something which we have not discounted in our numbers.
Okay, got that. Well, thank you, Sunny, for your view on that one as well, and thanks for being on the show. Now, Brijesh ji, why don't you also share your own view as far as NTPC Green is concerned? What is your thought process? Do you think investors should be looking at an opportunity which is only for listing gains here, or should one really look at a long-term capacity? Of course, we do know that the management is serious. Renewable energy is going to be, which is going to be a growing opportunity over the next decade as well. The ambition set by the company is also pretty large. For those who are looking at renewable energy space, does it definitely make sense to subscribe to this one?
So, Sakshi, someone is looking for just to play for the IPO segment point of view, just in that scenario, one can apply. But if someone is looking for the investment point of view and your view is say 1 year, 2 or 3 years down the line time frame, and renewable energy is a new means is an upcoming sector where everyone has been focused on. In that scenario point, I'll say if you are applying and if you are able to get it, then hold on would be the thing. But for the investment, if someone missed out the opportunity and they are not able to get it, then I'll say that don't look out at this price of 102 to
Okay.
110. If it goes below the level, and if it trades somewhere in 2 digit, I think somewhere around 80 to 85 is a level where one can look out to buy and then play for the long term is been considered.
Okay, got that. So around 80-85 would be a better price entry for NTPC Green as per Brijesh right there. So for those who've been really looking forward to this IPO, remember that in case you are already a shareholder of NTPC and you had the shares of NTPC in your demat account by November 13th, there will be 2 quotas under which you could be probably looking at applying for this IPO. The retail category as well as the shareholders category. But do stay tuned. There are enough and more conversations that we are bringing to you as far as NTPC Green is concerned. Take an informed decision and do speak to your own fundamental expert as well as far as this opportunity is concerned. Let's again get back to the markets and see where the action is developing. A lot of these NBFCs are again starting to move. Muthoot Finance is up by 6.2%. Of course, there's this earnings factor that's working very well for the stock right from the word go. Even the broking names are coming back. So Edelweiss is up 2.5%. Anand Rathi Wealth is up 7%, 2.5%. We have Shriram Finance, that's nearly up 1%. A lot of these housing finance names are also coming up in trade right now. Slowly and gradually, some ticks can be seen. Brijesh ji, these have been the outperforming pockets really. The capital markets related stocks, AMC related stocks, gold financiers because of the kind of gold rally that we have seen. Do you still look at them attractively at this point in time, or do you think enough and more is done?
So as you have said that in that gold and finance followed by the broking house has been considered, in that both the stock which you have named, Muthoot Finance as well as the Anand Rathi, both are looking promising. So I'll start with Anand Rathi. Anand Rathi, we have seen a trend line breakout has been witnesses, and on the oscillator front followed by the price point of view, it's been giving an indication that it has bottomed out and we can see upside in coming days. Right now 3,972 around, it's been trading. Present rate or dip can be used to take a long position here. Regarding with the stop loss has been considered, one can keep a stop loss of 3,840, and on the higher side, once the stock breaks the level of 4,040, it can jump to the level of 4,200 mark zone. So one can keep target of 4,200 with a stop loss of 3,840. Regarding with Muthoot Finance has been considered, no doubt in today's session we have seen the gap of opening. So in that scenario, with volume breakout has been witnesses. 1,886 around it's been trading. So I would not be suggesting to go long at this juncture. No doubt the bottom has been seen for the short term has been considered, but my preferable rate as a risk reward ratio has been considered, it is 1,850 to 1,860 band. So if you trade in this range, then one can take a long position in it with a strict stop loss of 1,810 and then play for the target of 1,990 to 2,000 odd.
ठीक है, all right, got that viewpoint as well. Now let's look at the Nifty Next 50 list. An interesting name that is shot up is Varun Beverages, now up 7%. It's moved to the high point of the day and trading at 615 rupees. Varun Beverages is one which has been an outperformer. It's been a wealth creator this year. In just the last 1 hour or so, or like half an hour, we've actually seen increased activity on this stock, and the stock is now near high point of the day, 615. Varun Beverages, even at 615, does it look lucrative? Would you chase this momentum, Brijesh ji?
Yeah. Why can I can say so that the trend has been positive? Number one, the cluster of the moving average, the stock has been trading above that level, so that is giving positive sign. The previous swing low was of 565. It made again a bottom, and from there we have seen a pullback in it. So present rate can be used to take a long position. Stop loss wise, 590 is a stop loss one can keep. Immediate resistance, I would be saying 530 around. If it crosses, and we can see a scoop towards the level of 665. So one can pay for the target of 665 with a stop loss of 590.
Okay, got that. So you could look at Varun Beverages, definitely a very strong momentum that can be seen. Let's look at the broader market, some interesting names there. Godrej Industries is up nearly 9.9% in trade today. We have Acme Solar just after listing now coming in strong, 10% higher for this one. Then you also have stocks like Premier Energies that are again rallying in trade, about 11% higher in trade for this one. You do have stocks like KNR Heat Energy Exchanger. This is also a recently listed stock. So at least three of those recently listed IPOs that are actually doing very well in trade today. KRN Heat Exchanger, you have definitely Premier Energies, and then you also have Acme Solar. Three of them that are doing very well in trade in the broader markets. What else is doing well? Everest Kanto Cylinder is 17% nearly higher in trade right now. Then you also have stocks like Orient Technologies that's also doing very well, about 11% higher. Kiri Industries is something that Raghivendra enough has really talked about on our channel many times. These are all the stocks that are buzzing. Brijesh ji, broader markets में कुछ पसंद आ रहा है आपको?
So as you've been talking about EKC, Swan Energy and Orient Technology, three
Okay.
stocks. So I'll just say one by one. EKC, present rate of 193, one can take long position in it. Stop loss keep a 180, play for the target of 209, 210. Swan Energy, 547, stock has been trading. One can keep a strict stop loss of 527 and then play for the target of 580, 585. Orient Tech, I feel that 455 the stock has been trading. Today's session we have seen stock making a new 50-week high also of 464, but I feel it can go to the level of 490, 495. Present rate can be used to take a long position with the strict stop loss of 430.
Okay, got that. Brijesh ji, 327. Any BTST or STBT idea that you would want to share for investors for tomorrow?
I'll have a BTST call only. Why? Because the trend, as I've said, still look little bit negative to me. So
Okay.
185 around, it has been trading our AB Capital. One can take short position in it with the strict stop loss of 191, play for the target of 173. Another counter where the supply is being seen is Glenmark Pharmaceutical. The trend has been negative. Today volume indicates that it can go further down. 1481 around it's been trading. When I noted that time it was 495, so one can take a short call in it with the stop loss of 1550. Play for a target of 1420. If it breaks 1420, then 1380 is another level to watch.
Got that. Just about 2 minutes to go before we shut shop for the day today. Brijesh ji, tomorrow again will be the penultimate session right before the holiday, like you pointed out. Maharashtra elections midweek. So another week of truncated trade right there. So do you expect further volatility and low volume trade happening tomorrow? What should be the strategy for traders?
So obviously, as I pointed out, see, last week also there was one day, Friday was an
Yes.
off of Sri Govind, Guru Govind Jayanti, and 20th is another day off because of the Mumbai Maharashtra election. So I feel that this low volatility with low volume would be going on. And since only thing is that 23,500 around mark, Nifty still been hovering, and I always say if it hovering this level, only negative divergence should not be there in indicator front, then we can see a pullback. Otherwise, be prepared for another downfall. But the downfall should not break 23,100 to 23,200 marks.
All right, got that, Brijesh ji. Thank you so much for being with us on the show and helping our viewers out to navigate this volatile move in the markets right there, helping them to concentrate on where really money can be made in this setup as well in the markets. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Well, 72 points now, lower in trade, 23,460 is where you see the Nifty at currently. That's about a 0.3% loss. So another day, viewers, is what we are going to be seeing when the Nifty ends lower. This will be the 7th straight session for the Nifty inching lower in trade. Already in the last week, we've actually seen the Nifty slip about 2% in trade, 2 consecutive we've seen, and we are beginning again on a weaker footing. The only good part right now is that there are some pockets that are trying to pull up, and it's not all lost ground. We haven't slipped below crucial levels. 23,450 still remains with us. 330, the screen has frozen. You can see 23,465 is where we've ended at. 50,369 on the Nifty Bank. That's ended in the positive zone, about 0.4% of gains, almost 190 points in trade. Top movers on the Nifty today: Hindalco, almost 3-4% higher. Hero Moto, earnings reactions, 2.7% higher. Tata Steel, 2.3% up. FMCG majors, Nestle and HUL pulled up towards the second half, 1.5% higher. M&M also rose by about 1.5%. What dragged? Oil and gas space and the IT space. TCS, top loser, 3% lower in trade. Also, Infosys contributing 2.5% lower. Wipro down by 2.5%. BPCL, Dr. Reddy's and Cipla. So even the pharma space is lower. So all the three key defensives, IT, pharma, is down, two of these, but the FMCG stocks, they were in actually green zone in today's trading session. Oil and gas also continue to be in pressure. Nifty IT, top sectoral loser today, 2.3% lower, followed by oil and gas down by 1.6%. Pharma lost about 1%. Broader markets also down by 0.5%. Metals shown bright, 2% higher. FMCG, PSU banks, autos and the Nifty Bank managed to pull themselves up into the green. Top mover in the F&O space, Nalco. Muthoot Finance followed it. Hindalco was the next. On the downside, from the F&O pack, you had stocks like Indraprastha Gas, Mahanagar Gas, Gujarat Gas, all reacting to the cut down in the allocation that the government has done, and granules as well. Sharp reduction in prices for all of these too. Well, we'll leave it at that, viewers. 23,453 after the adjustments. It's a 79 point kind of a cut, but we managed to hold on. Like I said, 23,450. We'll see whether it improves tomorrow or right ahead of a midweek holiday. Again, the markets will be volatile from here on too. Let's hope the crucial levels of 23,200 are not breached on the lower side, which Vaishali in the morning and Brijesh in the afternoon have pointed out that in case that level gets breached, you should for further lower trend, and 22,500 would then be the next visible downside level that you could be probably looking at as well. Let's hope things get better from here and not worse. We leave you at that. Thank you so much for being with us, but do stay tuned. Enough on more coverage on markets and on business perspective will be shared with you right after this edition on your screens. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that addresses all the key questions that you send us on your stock portfolio, on the stocks that are on your radar, those which are bleeding in this correcting market, and all of those where you actually see some opportunity in this market as well. So we will be discussing all of these questions with the top market experts who will be joining in on the show. But how do you send us your questions? The WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. Send in all your queries on this number. Don't forget to mention your name, your location and your contact details when you send us all these questions right here as well. What we will also be doing is that we will be taking the questions that you send us on our YouTube platform. In case you're watching us live on our YouTube channel, then there's this comment section that you could also send in all your questions right there, and we can pick up those questions and address it with our top market experts also on the show. We will be having a lot of